guys, I've been getting asked this kind of regularly, and I'm finally going to sit down and do a video about this. So today's van topic is how I support myself while vanning, aka my work. I wrote this like months ago and finally got the chance to sit down. You don't need this. I finally got the chance to sit down and do this video. But I wrote down a bunch of notes, and this is about my work. So maybe you guys don't know, or you're new to my channel. My work is I'm a pet care specialist. So I do dog walks, pet sits, grooming, training, nutrition, pet taxi. I take care of all kinds of animals: cats, dogs, rabbits, rodents, reptiles, fish, birds, you name it. I can probably take care of it and don't mind to. These are my notes, and I haven't read these in ages. But I have a pretty good memory once I write it down. What I do, this is how I make money on the road and in my day-to-day life. I own my own company. I am a one-woman show, so it's just me and my clients. I don't really have friends or employees or anything like that. It's just me, the client, their pets, that's it. I like it that way. I don't want to deal with having employees and their drama and extra insurances and everything else. And then also, once in a while, I will get full of pet sits, like say during the busy holiday times. Then that's when I usually will have a friend or two do my backup pet sits, you know. But usually I try to take care of everything myself. How and why I got started. So I started my business almost 9 years ago. So this fall, this is 2017, April. So this fall will be my start of my 9th year. So I did it before I started the nomad and RV living. How I got started is my background is pretty much sales, customer service, retail, all that kind of stuff. Every job I ever had, I was always like assistant managers, the lead. I did inventory. I did everything at all my jobs. I was always cross-trained. I wanted to learn and do everything. So it's been great because all that experience has helped me in having my own business. And how I got started is I was working at a storage facility, and I was the last one hired, so I was the first one to go because they were just doing cutbacks because it was the beginning of the recession. So the company's like, yeah, we don't need any more people, work's been slow. So I was the last one hired, so I was the first one to go. So it was like, what am I going to do for work? I don't really want to go back to retail and all this other stuff. So one of my friends saw an ad on Craigslist for a dog walker, pet sitter. And I was like, dude, I always wanted to do that, but I don't know if I could live on it. So anyways, I went to go work for this lady for about 3 months. I was like her only employee. She just never really was around to run her business. I pretty much did everything from the ground up and pretty much started her business for her and took care of everything. And so I just couldn't handle how she was about a lot of things, so I wanted to leave. I didn't like working for her anymore. She was just a lunatic. Like, really, she really, really was. So I said, I'm leaving because I already do everything around here anyways. I might as well go work for myself, you know, because I don't like how you treat customers and everything else. So I branched off and started my own business, and it was really hard because it was during the recession. So the first couple years were really hard. And why I always wanted to work for myself. And it's like, got nothing else to lose. I've done everything else. Why not? Both my parents always kind of worked for themselves too. So that's kind of how it all started and why. How much does it make? Okay, on average, I could probably make anywhere from, on average in my area, which is like Central California, Silicon Valley, anywhere from $2,000 to probably $3,000 a month. I want to estimate. I don't always keep track. But even though it can sound like a lot of money, at times it's not always, because you do have business expenses. You'll have van repairs, things like that. It could vary. You could have a slow month, especially if you're starting out. I have a huge clientele base, and everyone's always referring me to other clients and other people. So I kind of do okay. In different areas you work too, your normal dog walk rate or normal pet sit rate will vary. I live, Silicon Valley, the Bay Area, so everything here is expensive. Work hours and schedule. So my work hours, I pretty much on average work about 6 to 7 days a week, but they're not always like 8-hour days. So sometimes I could work probably 10 or 12-hour days sometimes, but it's not always continuously. And then some days I could work maybe 1 or 2 or 3 hours. It varies so much because you pretty much work what schedule people will need you. So let's say Mondays I can have 3 dog walks. Sure, you can work 3 hours, but you also have to calculate in the time it took you to get to each client's house. I work with a lot of dogs that are dog aggressive, so I can't walk a lot of dogs together because they're all dog aggressive. So I have to walk almost all my clients' dogs separately. So I go to this person's house at whatever time, this person's house, whatever time. It changes every day because I have some clients that may need me Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I have some that, need me anytime on Tuesdays and anytime on Friday, So things like that. So you always have to kind of schedule. And if you're close to so-and-so's house and they're flexible, so some people are like, I have to have it at midday. I have to have it at noon on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So your schedule changes all the time. Usually Saturdays, I only have 1 to 3 clients. And then Sundays, I usually don't really have anything, or maybe it's just the house I'm pet sitting at for like the overnights and things like that. Or maybe 1 or 2 dog walks. But then Mondays, I could have a lot, or I can have 1 or 2 clients. So it varies so much. The city's distance I go for clients. So I actually work between 4 different cities. They're all really close together. So within that 15 minutes, pretty much, I can hit every 4 different cities, or like a border of one, a border of the other, and then the 2 other main ones, which are in the middle, usually. So, and where I live, it's very populated, lots of houses, so a lot of people have pets, and a lot of condos. It's very, very densely populated, so everyone has pets, everybody works a lot, everybody travels a lot, everybody kind of has money for this kind of thing, so it works really great. Also with my work, you have to have a business license. I'm bonded, insured. There are people that don't have business licenses and they're not bonded or insured. You can go that route, but I think for your own protection and for the client's peace of mind, you need to be bonded, licensed, insured, all that kind of stuff. It just depends where you live, and those fees can vary depending what county and stuff you're in. It's good to have a big vehicle, and that's reliable. And if you want to get around by bicycle to get to all your clients' houses, you can. I actually have a friend who is a dog walker. I met him a couple years ago, and he actually goes to all the clients' houses by his bicycle. Like, he's so fit, and he's like in his 50s. Like, he blows me away. It's crazy. But you always think if something happened or a pet got sick or something, it kind of helps to have a pretty decent sized vehicle. I used to do it with my 4-door mid-sized sedan, and with all your supplies and stuff you may need, it may get a little tight. I also do have a website, business cards, advertising. Those are things you may have to pay for. Like, you kind of got to, put in money to make money, sort of thing. Business cards take a little while. I'll buy a good stack of them, and I usually get them through Vistaprint. And I have a website. Luckily, my ex was really, really, really awesome in helping me do the website. I created all the content, and he put it all together for me. And I said, this is what I like, this is where I want this is how I want that. And then he pretty much just did all the coding for it, which was awesome. Advertising, I don't actually really have to do any advertising. It's kind of pretty much word of mouth. My clients refer me to other clients, or it's even when I'm out and about, even when I'm out and about, just dog walking, I'll meet people, or I can be at the pet store, I can be at the grocery store, and people, you get talking, and before you know it, you give them your business card or your number, and it's like, hey, you got a client, you know. And also with my work, I meet with clients and answer their questions 24/7. And you don't always get paid for that. You know, there's so many questions, especially when they're new clients. You kind of work around the clock. You know, people will call you at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night and think of something and be like, oh, they're always communicating with you through email, text, phone call. So you always pretty much got to be there for them, you know. That's your income. Can be seasonal work, busy, slow, comes in waves. So there's times that I'm like slammed and busy for like 3 weeks, and then 1 or 2 weeks will be kind of calm, and they'll be like crazy busy for 2 or 3 weeks, and it depends on the time of year. So I have a lot of fluctuations. That's what's kind of really great about living the van life, because it's more affordable when I have fluctuations, not only based upon holidays and seasons, but also sometimes you have where one pet dies, 2 clients lost their jobs, someone's spouse is moving out. So before you know it, you can have like sometimes 30 new clients, and then you have one that has to cancel services. Sometimes you can get 3 new clients in one day, and then someone else drops off. So it's always this crazy balance. You always got to stay on top of your game, and it's 24/7. You got to work nights, weekends, holidays, and you just got to be there for everybody. It's your income, you know, like you run a business. Going away for vacations and or at short notice is usually hard to do. It depends how, for me, this is my career. This is my, probably number one thing in my life is my dog, and my van and my business are neck and neck. You know, I love them both, and I can't have one without the other probably. But my dog always comes first. But my work is my career, my passion, my everything. So, yeah, you got to be very knowledgeable and care of all kinds of animals, as well as their psychology and body language. So, me, it just comes natural, the whole animal stuff. I've just always loved animals since I was like a little kid. I've just always loved animals. Growing up, we had a lot of animals. We had fish, rabbits, hamster, dogs, cats, a lot of other animals. My mom's like, hell no, you are not having this or that reptile. No, even though I wanted it. But, no, so it helps, researching a lot. There's a lot of things health-wise that will help with my clients' pets. So I will research certain things to understand certain health conditions. And as you do this more and more as the years pass, you learn a lot more. All your clients you will learn something from. I have some clients that have educated me a lot in a lot of things, which is really awesome, you know, for that. And I also educate them as well. You gotta have good stamina, 3 to 6 hours of dog walking daily, as well as lots of patience. So there's some days, on average for me, 3 hours of dog walking. And dog walking actually tires you out more than you walking normally, because I also incorporate training with my clients' dogs. So I don't just like throw a leash on them and be like, let's just go for a stroll, poo and peep, wherever you want, whatever. I actually like to exercise the dogs. Some dogs I'll rollerblade, skateboard, bike ride. A lot of them I do training, especially when they're a new client. A lot of dogs are pretty unruly. I don't care how the dog is for the client. For me, I will not handle unruly dogs, so I get them in check in the beginning, you know, and then it's just maintenance after that. You gotta really take care of your health to be able to do that many hours a day. And sometimes on the busier seasons, you can do 6 hours of dog walking a day easily, you know. And your clients usually end up as extended family members and friends. It's true, a lot of my clients became my extended family. Like, they were more family to me than my family is. And a lot of them are really good friends. You got to be able to handle rejection, because sometimes people just like, you show up at their door and they're just like, we don't need you today. Or they're like, we found someone cheaper. So you got to be able to handle rejection. If you have pets, what are you going to do with them while pet sitting or when you're at clients' homes, like doing their dog walks. Spike, he comes with me regardless. He doesn't come on every dog walk, but he's cool to be hanging out in the van. And I can leave all the windows open in the van. He doesn't jump out or anything. When I do my pet sits, I do bring him with me. Once in a while, clients will have a problem with that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, he's my service dog. I can't really be without him. And I do tell them when I do their pet sits, I either keep Spike in their bathroom, or I keep him in a crate or in a playpen. He's never out of my sight. I can have you check with all my other clients how awesome and how well trained he is, and I can have you meet him, blah, blah, blah. Usually nobody ever really has a problem with him, you know. You have to think of prices and research the average market rates. So you have to find out what all the other dog walkers, pet sitters are charging in your area, and what you want to be charging as well. Timing of money fluctuates. You got to deal with cash checks, daily, weekly, but bills are monthly, so you got to pace yourself, and last minute cancellations can regularly happen, so you can't always depend on the money. Yeah. Every day the schedule changes, and sometimes you gotta handle when people are like, oh, I need you today at 3. And then they're like, no, can you do 1? No, actually, how about next week on Thursday? And you're just like, fucking figure it out. Then let me know. Like, things change all the time. People cancel, whatever, change things. You should be a pool of knowledge for your clients. Try to be extremely knowledgeable in your field of work. They will love that. Gotta buy supplies from time to time. You know, like I have to buy like leashes, poo bags, certain training equipment, treats if you want, you know, those sort of things, you know, office supplies stuff to do your business. Clients through word of mouth, through fate, social interactions. That's how I get my clients. Paperwork and storage of files. So you got to figure out where you're going to store clients' files and records and things like that. You have to be super organized, like crazy organized, like 24/7, because the more organized you are and the more simple of a system you have to record everything, the faster and easier it will be, because you just don't have the time, because you work around the clock. You work for yourself or through an agency. So I work for myself. I have my own business. I run my own business. Some people work through an agency, and I know there's also websites out there like care.com and rover.com and stuff. Some of those agencies will take a portion of your profits. I don't like that. I can do fine without them. So it's always something to think of. What fields will you do? You have to think about, will you just do dog walks or just do pet sits? Those sorts of things. You got to know your limitations and stuff, what you will and won't do. You have to know how to schedule your clients. So that's always hard to do. You can try to block everyone for an hour time frame, but sometimes you have to think, is there traffic at such and such time to get from this client's house to that client's house? You got to worry. Sometimes clients run over. Sometimes things change at the last minute. You hit construction zones. Things happen. You have to go get gas. So, yeah. You have to have a strong... What is with my phone? Oh, sorry. Someone's calling me. You have to have a strong stomach and clean up nasty pet messes, or feed other animals like rats, snakes, etc. So basically, pets have messes. You got to be able to clean that stuff up. Everything comes out. You also, sometimes people have snakes. You got to feed live rabbits and mice to snakes. You have to communicate a lot, 24/7 with clients through email, phone, text. So I have clients all the time. And some people have a million little questions, and you got to double check, and you got to just, I love email and I love texting because it's in print. So I can remember and they can remember, and there's never any discrepancies that way. So I love that. Some clients are OCD and need every little detail related back to them. And some are chill and just want to know you showed up and left. So basically I have some clients that are so detail oriented and want to know every tiny little thing. And there are some that are like, just let me know you came and left. And you're like, okay, cool. So I have every different, you got to know how to work with people. if pet sitting in a client's home, are you okay with being in strangers' places? Some people are pretty messy. Some houses are really awesome and nice to do pet sits in. So you got to be able to handle being there all by yourself. Pet sitting in clients' home versus your own. Well, if you live the van life, I don't think clients are really going to want you bringing them to your home. But, you know, you got to be able. I think it's best to do the pet sitting in the client's home. I used to sometimes take pets to my old house where I used to live, but they were always happier in their own home with their own things, their own schedule. Why I pet sit in the client's home, I just explained. The more, trying to speed up because I know I'm running out of time on this memory card, so I'm sorry. The more clients you can take, the more money you can make, but you gotta pace yourself. So you gotta try to take all the clients you can, but you also gotta watch time and not overdo it. And what happens when you're too booked? You gotta have a backup plan. Learn to be flexible. Clients have bad days, pets get sick, you hit traffic, things can put you behind in your day. Gotta be compassionate and sympathetic, but also don't be a pushover and stand your ground. Communication is key, and try to get everything in writing through text, emails, those sorts of things help. Gotta have a good memory, or at least in the habit of writing stuff down ASAP or doing it ASAP. So a lot of things I have to do right away. Clients will tell me things and I'm like, I will write it on my hand, or on a piece of paper, because I will walk out their door and be on to the next thing and totally forget. So I just write every single thing down. I have better long-term memory than I do short-term memory. So, got to know how to bill the clients if you're going to be billing them daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, or occasionally, like pet sits. You got to keep track of payments. Oh, that's such a huge thing. I do use some payment apps like Google Wallet and Venmo. So some of my clients pay through that, which is really nice and helpful. And then I have ones that do cash and check. You have to be clean and a non-smoker because you're at other people's houses all day. So you got to clean up after yourself. Got to be able to handle puppies to really old dogs, as well as unruly and untrained dogs. So I do deal with all of that. You got to deal with mean cats too sometimes. Be honest, but not too honest. And you can't offend people. So I'm pretty honest. But you have to be able to know how to word things to people. You have to be a client support in times of need. No matter what that need is, the more you can be in with the client, the more like they can depend on you and you come through and you're a person of your word, the better things are. But there's times, because you're in their home and you take care of their pets, you become such a member of their family. They trust you with all kinds of stuff. There's so much things that I know that I'm like, I just want to show up and walk your dog. But you start hearing their drama and their life story. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to deal with this. And you got to know where to draw the line. But some of it will impact you in your work with that client. So it's good to know. Will you do pet taxi? Will you take pets to groomers, vet, dog park, or just dog walks, or just pet sits? So I think that's kind of it as far as my notes go. Like I said, almost been doing this for 9 years. I really kind of can't see myself doing anything else. I'm kind of pretty much a lifer now, I guess. I mean, I'm jack of all trades. There's lots of things I have talents in. But for me, I gotta spend so many hours outside all day, every day, so there's no way a lot of jobs I could not work. I kind of can't work with people. I can work with my clients, but even I have difficulties with that sometimes because of my Asperger's. Not all of them know or understand that I have Asperger's. I don't always tell them. There's very few. Sometimes I have to, because I say I have a service dog sometimes, then I have to explain why, because of the Asperger's kind of, but it really helps. Sometimes I see where it hinders me, but I try to just pretend I'm normal, and, usually they don't catch on. There's some that are really smart and see there's a little something off about me sometimes, but if I could do it, I'm sure a lot of people can. I love working with the animals, so I do it because of that, because I love making that bond between the animal and the owner and vice versa better. And I like being there to help people out and to put things more into perspective for my clients, you know, and how to do something better, you know. So, yeah, so I pretty much don't really see myself doing anything else, even though there's a lot of things I'm good at. Um, so, yeah, then almost 9 years I've been doing this has just flown by. You know, I think it's not until the last 3 years that I have really made good money, because also the economy's gotten better. A lot more people are traveling. Your big clientele base will even expand more, you know, so that's kind of been really cool. But if there's anything you guys were curious about that I don't think I may have covered, please let me know in the comments below. How do you guys make money living the van life? What do you guys do for work? I'd like to hear it. Obviously, comment in the below. Comment below. Yeah, that sort of thing. And let me know. And I think I'll cut this video off before it cuts me off. Alright, so everybody take care. Thank you guys always for watching and being so supportive and so honest and everything. And yeah, you guys have fun and live your paradise.